See here. Oh, God. So I'm going to present in the form of a line of questioning, an interrogation of a place which I did not belong, which was not home, an interrogation of what connects us and what we rely upon, what will allow us to endure here, and of what we might have in common. So as an architect and a builder, these have become questions of what do we build with and why, where does it come from, and at what cost. Excursions into the industrial landscapes of Appalachia have revealed the economic and ecological risks which our commons are exposed to, the most true costs to those living and laboring here, communities rarely directly profiting from the progress that this extracted value supports, right, Gabe? Tennessee Marble Company, the first of 3 sites that I visited, reveals a sublime subterranean landscape common to the Tennessee Valley. Tennessee marble, once a popular material in turn-of-the-century civic architecture across the U.S., a durable and locally abundant material, but overwhelmingly an export, so at what cost? The site presents a vivid opportunity to ask a different kind of question. How might we look to the future of Appalachia through the power of design as divination, as foresight by earth, to utilize these resources within the commons in ways that are more energetically pragmatic and culturally spectacular? To covet what we have and utilize it to serve the durability, autonomy, and joy of the communities which depend most on these places, to close loops of extraction into more circular exchanges of labor and landscapes. This is the first of 3 mock-ups which aim to literally build these arguments through speculative acts of construction. So what might this look like? How do we build the future? We do it in fragments, one piece at a time. What forms of building may become inextricably Appalachian in the 21st century? And there are currently 300 years worth of marble left in the Tennessee Marble Quarry at current rates of extraction, not including these incredible piles of offcuts. From the treachery of Alcoa's company town, smelting aluminum to feed the war efforts abroad, to the optimism of something like a green revolution, energy captured in our Tennessee rivers continues to be transformed into infinitely recyclable aluminum, also known as liquid electricity. Most aluminum produced in Alcoa today is comprised of recycled material. And site number 2, Rimmer Brothers Recycling, is one of many scrapyards playing a small role in feeding this closed loop of globalized production, in which matter and energy are bound up in past and future aluminum goods, converging very briefly here in Appalachia. Its economic value inaccessible to the commons, unless you are replacing your copper pipes, is my landlord here. Jerome? Nope. Next, something more hopeful. How might we begin to augment these exclusive flows to capture and funnel this infinitely manipulable, adaptive material into exultant acts of construction which celebrate both the technological and esoteric qualities of life latent in our region? Next, something more hopeful, found in Jeffrey's Woodworks. Any fans? Also known as Lumber Heaven. There you go. Tennessee is arguably the hardwood capital of the world. Nowhere else does an oak hickory forest grow as fast and straight. Jeffries connects a diverse community of craftspeople and builders to local sawmills, and by extension, our hardwood forests. There's Bob, recently retired. This interpolation of cultivation and consumption aspires towards natural cycles of balance and succession. Most local sawmills only accept wood, gatewood, which comes from within a 100-mile radius. All waste from milling processes is distributed into other industries, OSB production, pulp mills, livestock bedding, pellets for heating, and so on. These interdependent connections of labor and landscapes are mirrored in the connections which give traditional timber frame joinery techniques an active rigidity, an adaptive community of elements interpolating dynamic forces into a balance. And the softwood industry is a whole other story. So what might change about the way we build if we were to reject, pausing for 2 more seconds, this displaced or misplaced risk that we bear in the commons of Appalachia, if we were to frame design as an act of divination, reconnecting us to the land, a progressive energy agenda minimizing the embodied energy of our built environment? If we were to gain full access and priority to the abundance of materials of the commons, reintegrating our practices of building into the infinite richness of our shared resources, rejecting the precarity that inevitably results from their extraction and dislocation, what might this look like? Lean-to brings these materials into conversation with each other and the institution in a pavilion constructed in the courtyard of the Art and Architecture building as a form of design research which translates the abstraction of the mock-ups one step closer to something habitable. So what might change about how we teach, foregrounding the commons in a land-based pedagogy? I'm a little ahead of myself here. In the example you're about to see, we are interrogating our arguably most common of resources here. Wait for it. Which is, spoiler alert, the clay found in the ground itself. That's a long one. Okay. In this example, teaching served as a way to ground students into what new things, what infinite complexity might we notice right under our feet. And paradoxically, how might this connect us in our struggles to live well under exceptional circumstances with cultures in other parts of the world? So the best way to study these things is to simply do them with your hands in the dirt. If Sean is whining about wine, we're building about buildings here. And here, a fragment of a building imagines a reconcentration of power around the radical DIY, but also imagining a model of practice of an architectural ethic of divination, wherein design and our craft extends into the prospecting of materials and meaningful and durable exchanges of matter and energy between labor and land, not an outright rejection of an industrial means of production, but a scavenging, augmenting, and interpolating of existing systems. The end.